Hey guys, welcome back to Get Into It with Jason Hook, with me, your host, Jason Hook. And we're going to get right into it. So what we're going to be listening to, kicks on in a minute, it's the Gein and the Graverobbers, songs in the key of evil. This is numbered to 100. So I didn't insert with this bad, Larry. So this originally came out on Necrotone Records in 2002. It was only on CD. This is actually a repress on Pine Hill Recordings, I believe, is it? Pine Hill Records. I'm sorry, guys. They call this a super exclusive series because they're only limited to 100. They did their other LP too, but I saw these guys. My wife and I saw them out in Western Mass on Halloween, probably in 03, I believe it was. And then I saw them again in Boston, play live at the Brattle when they did they played live to I believe it was Zombie horror movie. They did like a live soundtrack. It's like horror themed surf. I believe they're from Western Massachusetts. They put out a bunch of stuff. I believe it was 4 LPs, a 7-inch, and a tape comp, which I don't have any of that other stuff. I don't have any of the LPs or the tape comp. So if anyone knows who these guys are, feel free to send me a message because I want that tape comp at least. But that's Gein and the Graverobbers. Songs in the Key of Evil. Again, this is a repress on Pine Hill Records out of New Hampshire. I have another release from them, which I'll get into a little bit later on in the video. So, next is the brand new Hammer and the Nails 12-inch EP. This just came in the mail, I think it was last week, maybe the week before. This is on a German label. The band's from Massachusetts. It's got a really cool gold foil cover. And that's Andy Fletcher artwork on the cover there. What you get here is you get 3 tracks of it's Oi, and there's a little intro track on here. It's cool because it comes with this little rip-off of like a movie, of a lobby poster for a horror movie. Hammer and the Nails. The day the fools bought into the rebellion. Hook, line, and sinker. That's my movie phone voice. It's got an insert here, a little cartoon drawing of the guys. So the B-side of this is actually repeated, but there's a bonus cover track on there, which I will leave for you guys to find out. These guys are kind of, they're mysterious, but they're not mysterious. They put records out. They're not distroed that well. They don't play out a lot. The guys in the band, like, they'll play and not have any merch or something like that. That's happened before. This is on gold vinyl too, by the way, and it's got that little design there, which is designed by David Ruddleforth. But yeah, it's 3 tracks of great Oi. This band's awesome. The mysterious part is cool. I mean, I kind of know some of the guys in the band just because I live in Massachusetts and know them from being around. This is also kind of a members of band. Dudes are in other bands, figure it out again. Like, same thing with the cover. But this is the Hammer and the Nails. Does it actually have a name? I think it's just the new Hammer and the Nails 12-inch EP. The label is from Germany. I think these just made it over here. They might have some on their Bandcamp or whatever page they have that sells stuff. But definitely check it out. It's you won't regret it. Excuse me. Next we have something which I've talked about a million times before. Yet again, another Metallica Jump in the Fire, Seek and Destroy Phantom Lord, studio side, live side, 3-song, 12-inch single. I believe I have 4 different versions of this. This is the one on Music for Nations. This is a French pressing, I believe. I bought it at Mars Records in Plymouth, which you guys have heard me talk about a lot on here. What's up, Tim? But 1983, you can tell by the label. Oh, it's upside down. You can tell by the label, like, what press it is. Again, like I said, I think I have 3, 4, 5 different versions of this. I have the picture disc, ones with different covers. I think this is going to be one of those records for me where I'm just going to grab them when I see them in the wild. I think this was only like $25. I mean, it's great stuff. It's you know, by the photos. You know, when Metallica was Metallica. I love this shit. But anyways, Oh yeah, let me show this. Let me show the center label again. Jump in the Fire, written by Dave Mustaine. Actually, all of Dave Mustaine. Hetfield, Ulrich, Mustaine. Hetfield, Ulrich, Mustaine. So Cliff Burton. I was spacing on his name, guys. You caught me. Cliff Burton, Rip. But yeah, just another copy of Jump in the Fire. From Metallica. I'll tag Metallica on Instagram and I'll get 1,000 new follows from MetallicaFan.org or whatever. Next, I have one of these live at Third Man Records LPs. This is Man or Astro Man. These guys play similar to what you're hearing here, a fuzzy kind of surf. They're more, this is more horror based. This is more kind of like outer space based, maybe. I'm trying to think of it, science fiction based. If you guys don't know, these bands play live at Third Man. They actually record it onto an acetate and bring it over their press, bring it over to their printer. They have a vinyl press there and press the records like almost immediately. And then later on down the line, they become pressed for you know, grand consumption, if you will. So this was actually on a record store day. I wrote down the date right here. Where did I write you down? This is actually 2017 live on record store day, because you hear little shout-outs in the middle. And they know they're being recorded live, so they try to fit in as much as they can. There's 15 total tracks on this. Actually, this was recorded 4/16/2016. I believe it came out on Record Store Day last year, 2017. And again, Record Store Day, I hate it. I can do a whole video. We'll talk about it later. But I grabbed this at Newbury Comics. Newbury Comics turned 40 a couple weeks ago. And they did a 40% off sale. And everything in the store was 40% off. And they didn't they put it on the internet. They didn't really pump it up for weeks. It was like the Wednesday night they told people. So I actually got this for, it was $12. I got 40% off. So this is Man or Astro Man live. It's great recording. Sounds awesome. These guys are cool. If you dig what you're hearing here, there's a little bit of a theme to this video. You guys will definitely dig this. Did I write down anything else that I want to tell you guys? No. But the Man or Astro Man live at Third Man. Next we have, I saw these guys last month. We have Fireburn with Don't Stop the Youth. These guys are kind of a super group here. You have, you know who this is, right guys? Well, I'll give you time. Alright, it's Todd Jones. This is Todd Jones from, he was in Carry On, Terror. He's currently in Nails. I wrote down other bands using, Internal Affairs, Knife Fight. You got Nick Townsend, who was in Catholic Spit and Knife Fight. This guy right here I've talked about before. This is Todd Youth. He was in Warzone, Danzig, Bloodclot, Agnostic Front, Murphy's Law, Degeneration. He actually came through with Bloodclot not that long ago. And then you got right here Israel Joseph I, who was in Bad Brains from 91 till 94, and also again in 2008. So I did him last because this sounds a lot like Bad Brains. It's 2018 Bad Brains. There's only there's 5 songs total on here. It's great. If you love Bad Brains, you'll love this. It's basically what would, like I just said, 2018 Bad Brains would sound like. I picked this up directly from the band. It's on blue vinyl. I don't know what that means. I didn't bother to look it up. It's on Closed Casket Activities. It's got a simple sleeve here, with just the lyrics right here. These guys were fucking awesome live. Todd Jones wasn't with them. I also want to throw in real quick, Catholic Spit. Nick Townsend, the guy, the drummer for this band, he's wearing a Void shirt right there, which is cool. But the guy who played drums for this band, I saw Catholic Spit out of the blue when I was in Las Vegas once, and I grabbed the 7-inch, and they're fucking great. It's kind of like gothy punk. It's really awesome. That's just a plug. That's my Catholic Spit plug for you guys. But this is Fireburn. Don't Stop the Youth. Translucent blue with black marble vinyl. It looks just regular blue to me. But yeah, great newer hardcore, Bad Brains influence, fast with a stop, go, turn on the dime. It's got the 2 reggae jams on it as well. So, again, if you love Bad Brains, you're not going to lose out with this. Definitely check it out. They have a 7-inch shoe, which I have. I'll save it for another video, but that's Fireburn. So I'm playing the basement of the Alvin Elks Lodge. Next we have the Libyans. Ross Hodo showed this in a couple of videos ago. It's Expired Language. This is a Boston punk band with female vocals. This is on Sorry State. I believe I ordered this from Sorry State. Here's the insert right here. This guy right here, Jibo, I don't know if he's going to see this, but he played guitar in a band called The Prowl, which I toured with a band that I was roadieing for, so I know him. I haven't seen him in years. I know the singer Liz is actually from Chicago. She was in some bands from Chicago, too. But this is a Boston based or Massachusetts based. I know Jibo's out in Western Mass based band. It's pretty forward, just kind of like black vinyl here. It's pretty straightforward stuff. They have 2 LPs and a bunch of EPs. I think a bunch of comps too. You know, melodic punk. Definitely like I don't want to say it. The basement scene in Boston. These guys came out. I remember when they first got together. It's really cool stuff. Female vocals, like I said. So that's the Libyans Expired Language on Sorry State Records. You guys can probably find it anywhere. Get order from Sorry State. So next I have 2 LPs by the same band. So what do we got here? I'm going to do the first one first. So Grave Mistake Records was doing a little deal where they sold these both at the same time for like a package deal. So the first one here we got, it's Red Death, Permanent Exile. Now these guys are from the DC area, and they definitely do they do a crossover sound, hardcore crossover like what's the name of the band? I'll get it before the end here, but there's a band if you like Foreseen, if you love Foreseen, you'll love these guys. A little bit more on the hardcore side, I will say. Live shot to the back here. Dudes in this band, I believe, are in other bands as well. Look up right here. I know, like, drummer of this band, I think is in a bunch of. I think he's in that band Protester, that DC straight edge hardcore band. I think he's in a bunch of other bands too. But this is just crossover. This is just crossover hardcore from DC. The first one here came out on Grave Mistake Records. If you're a fan, Power Trip, Foreseen, those kind of things, you will definitely dig this. You should check this out, because I feel like this kind of doesn't get the same hype those bands do when they're similar. I feel like you would, if you like one, you'd like the other. But that's Permanent Exile, and then the new one, which is on Triple B, which is a label out of Boston, Formidable Darkness. So they did like a package deal where it was like 2 for $15. I don't remember what it was, but if you ordered one, you got the other one for cheap. I have some of their 45s. I never got this for some weird reason, so I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna grab it. I'm not one for newer records with color vinyl and shit. I don't really care as long as the record's good. So I don't care if they're on black vinyl. But on this one, you just got the Red Death center label here. Eight songs, 8 bangers. This one's recorded a little bit more differently. I think it's a little bit more heavier than the first one. Still in the same vein of like Power Trip, Foreseen type stuff. It's right here. It's got a little live shot. It's got the long hair there, and I think it's this one on the back. Yeah, his head shaved, so a little bit of a different look going on there. But yeah, just great crossover hardcore, mosh parts, breakdowns. I've seen them a handful of times. They've been fucking great every single time I've seen them. So, back Triple B, back Red Death, back DC Hardcore. These things too, I always love looking at the band shirts they're wearing. Skid Row. But yeah, it's the band shot right there. These should be readily available, easy to find. Any distro should have them. If not, getting direct from Triple B. Actually, you should order direct from Triple B so they make money. But if not, I know there's colors and probably stuff for this, but oh well, I missed a train on those. So last, but definitely not least, is the Waste of Time Futility LP. Now, if you look at this, it has a screen printed cover. This is the record release from No Way Fest 3, June 19th to 21st, 2009. I actually own a regular version of this with a black cover. But again, this came up with Grave Mistake. I think there was a warehouse, or they said the word warehouse, but they just found them. And so I couldn't pass it up because I love this record. And if you guys like straightforward hardcore, you're not going to lose with this. So it came with the original sleeve for the record. You got lyrics here. I'm going to get into the band in a minute. Okay, a little poster, Futility. Now this record's fucking awesome. If you can't mosh the Black Mold, you don't want to punch a hole in the wall and jump through it during Black Mold, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's just a hard song. It's just straightforward, no frills, hardcore. A little bit of the tinge of like the 80s Boston stuff, but not so much. It's very unique, very brutal, very like punch you in the face. See the Grave Mistake logo. Futility. So they made these for that fest. They must have done their record release there. I've never went to a No Way Fest. I never was able to make it down to Virginia for them. But I saw this and I had to grab it because I just fucking love this band. So to the band. This band has, since then, before, during, and after, have had members go on to be in other bands or already in bands that you probably know. I wrote a bunch of them down, so I'm going to list them off because I want you guys to check them out. If you've never heard this band, you can check out these other ones. So the singer, the drummer, Brandon, actually passed away a few years ago. And he was in Career Suicide, Direct Control, Government Warning, Municipal Waste. He ran No Way Records. He owned a vinyl, he owned a record store in Virginia. Just a great dude. He's no longer with us. He played drums in this band. Alex, who's in this band, put this out right here. Alex, who played bass, was in Government Warning, Grave Mistake, and Crispus of Tux, if you guys remember that band. Mark, the singer, is in a new band right now called Aggression Pact with people out of Boston, which is fucking great. I think I talked about him on here before. Mick, the other guitar player, has been in Iron Boots and Tar Pit, and Zach has been in Social Side and Tar Pit as well. I believe Alex is the owner of Grave Mistake as well, Grave Mistake Records, which if you guys haven't checked out, you're stupid. As a label and a distro, it's I'll put a link down for it. But this is the waste of time. This is like my pick of the week if I can, Futility. You guys have to hear this. Order it. If they got more of these, order them. Support it. Jam it. Mosh to Black Mold. Next, I have a bunch of 45s. What's that going on here? Alright, the first one I'll do is, I picked this up from Tim at Mars. It's the Hellacopters. This is from 1999. It came out on Sub Pop. These guys are from Stockholm, Sweden. And actually, Nick Anderson, it was an Entombed, is in this band. These guys are like a crazy, like if you dig Turbo Negro, they're right up that alley of Turbo Negro. Just crazy, just basic rock, like rock, sleazy rock, but fucking awesome. The funny thing about this is it comes with a Sub Pop Singles Club card. Hello, friend. Are you tired of the single scene? Had it with the setups, blind dates, and computerized matches provided for you by other singles clubs? Well, look no further, lonely hearts. The Sub Club Singles Club is the answer you seek. Scientifically designed to take the guesswork out of your tireless search for vinyl companionship, the Sub Pop Singles Club practically guarantees satisfaction. Plus, a subscription to the Sub Pop Singles Club is a savvy addition to any investment portfolio. Just imagine, every other month, 2 handcrafted limited edition 45s will be delivered straight to your mailbox. Sound good? We thought so. All you have to do is send us your money. It's that easy. Your subscription begins with a month to receive your money. Then, December 98, Love is Laughter. January 99, Gary Lee Connor. February 99, The Get Up Kids. I'm coming in no particular order. Ken 3, Beachwood Sparks. Kid Loco. How much is it? Oh, $70 for a full year. Fuck. So I wish I knew about that because I would have ordered it. The ones in red, it says, this little hashtag, it says too late. But I always wanted to sign up for this and I never did. Because in 1999, $70 was like $1,000 to me. I was 17. Or 16, 17. Fuck. But it's just black vinyl. It's a little dusty. I gotta clean it up. I gotta get a dust sleeve for it. I picked this up from Tim at Mars if I haven't mentioned that yet. You guys should check this stuff out. Sleazy rock. Over like American rock filtered through Swedish eyes. It's just 2 songs, Downright Blue and Thanks for Nothing. I'm sure you guys know who these... I'm sure there's people going to know who these guys are, but you should definitely check this out. It's the Hellacopters. Now, in that same kind of vein, I also picked this up from Tim. This is a Mummies record. The Mummies are... this came out in 1993 with Sympathy for the Record Industry. There's a Beatles cover on here. I'm Down, which I think is what I'm going to end up putting down as a link. These guys are, again, fuzzed out, crazy garage rock. They actually used to dress up in mummy costumes. I love that Sympathy for the Record Industry. Some Mummies here. Just crazy fuzz out organ. They're out of Daly City, California. They actually just played a couple weeks ago in Reno, Nevada at kind of like a garage fest, which a bunch of my friends went to. So if you guys saw the Mummies, tell me about it because I'm sure it was awesome. kind of legendary. They're a legendary garage band. And the thing about this too, I don't know if it's gonna come out because of that glare. You see the purple and the green star. Supposedly you can differentiate the different pressings from the color star. I don't know what this is. That's just heads up if you guys have this or if you know more. But this is the Mummies. Great stuff. I mean, sometimes I go on these little weird like surf rock kicks, and they're definitely not surf rock, but just garage rock weird kicks, and they're definitely on the top of my list right now. But the record's over, so I'll be right back. I'm back. This should work for now. Just want to show this off too with my fat cut, but I got this cool Civ shirt. I don't know when I bought it. I love this record. It's fucking awesome. Well, I'll have a whole video. Well, I'll mention Civ in another video. But anyways, next here is this Queers repress of Too Dumb to Quit. This came out in 1993 as well, I believe, on Duhaney Records. This is a 2018 repress. This is on Pine Hill. This is a repress on Pine Hill Records, which did the Gein record we're listening to right now. They did 6 different color vinyls. I believe this is Starburst. I don't know what the pressing info is. I don't really. It's a repress. I just wanted to listen to. So you guys know the story of the Queers. They're the infamous New Hampshire pop punk band. Kind of like pop punk, but not the pop punk that your mom told you about. Kind of like snotty garage leather jacket Ramonesy pop punk. And they've been around forever. So what the story with this recording is, they had an original lineup. That lineup split, and then they existed with a different lineup. And they then they reunited, and the original singer was in town, or was around, and they decided that to record. There's an ant there. They decided to record songs that they never recorded, 10, 15 years earlier with the original singer in 1993. Is it 10 years earlier? Yeah, some of the tunes are 10 years old. Wimpy hadn't been in the studio with the Queers since... Alright, I'll just read the back. It explains it. Wimpy was back in town for a few weeks, so thought it'd be neat to play a few shows and maybe even record some of the songs we never had the chance to before he left the band. Some of these tunes are 10 years old. Wimpy hadn't been in the studio with the Queers since the Kicked Out of the Weeblos EP, but he did real good and we all had lots of fun. All songs on this record were recorded in January 1993 with the following lineup: Joe King, guitar and vocals, B-Face, bass and vocals, Hugh O'Neill, drums and vocals, and Wimpy, guest vocals. Got you, Ant. Many thanks to our fans. So, they just repressed this. Literally 6 different, there's 6 different covers. Yeah, it says Starburst right here. There's 6 different color vinyl. Just kind of check it out. This is the Queers. Too Dumb to Quit. Great stuff. I really dug it. Well, we got 2 other. So this is a band I talked about. I had a tape. This is Wound Man. This is their rolled 7-inch Iron Lung recordings. This came out in 26. This is Massachusetts Power Violence. Also, Mass Glory is involved in this. This has a Deep Wound cover on it as well. I believe it's only 3 songs. It's cool. The inside's yellow. That's cool. Yeah, it's 3 songs with a Deep Wound cover. Again, just power violence hardcore from the New Bedford area. Really cool stuff. They're actually playing a show at the end of June with Think I Care in Boston and Drop Dead, which I'm fucking stoked about. But this is the Wound Man rolled EP. I got this at Purchase Street Records in New Bedford. It's one of the last things one of the last things to make a video of. And then last year I have this Mad Existence record, which came out on the Vinyl Conflict label, which I believe is tied to the store. Vinyl Conflict was a store that Brandon from Waste of Time, who passed away a few years ago, used to run. I believe it's still in business. I know the store's still in business. I think it's the same store, or the label's connected to it. I just bought a record from them on Discogs. But this is Mad Existence, Richmond, Virginia hardcore band. I really dug this record. It's got like a New York kind of hardcore breakdown, but then also goes into kind of power violence-y sounds as well. So it's really cool stuff. I think this came out in 2016. You can grab it. I recommend it. It's just a self-titled 7-inch. Alright. And I got... Oh, it's Marley. Nice. So that's all I have for music. I just want to go over a couple quick things. I had my flea market on Record Store Day. Still got flyers there for it. I had my flea market on Record Store Day couple weeks ago, and it was fucking awesome. I want to thank everyone who came out, anyone who came from the channel or I don't know personally or from the internet that I just bugged everyone for and social media. Thanks for coming out. It was a huge success. Part 2 is coming in September. We haven't locked anything totally down yet, but most likely September. I also want to plug my friend Klaus from Shipwrecks podcast that he's doing with Pete from 100 Demons from Connecticut called the Stockbury Dark. It's really cool. They go into like supernatural or kind of paranormal stuff with people that are in punk bands or hardcore bands, telling stories about things they've experienced that are weird or unexplained, and it's also they get into skepticism and stuff. So I'll leave a link for that down below. You should definitely check that out. What's up, Klaus? I really dig the podcast. Next, I wanted to do a quick thing for the Sean-Jon Experience, which is the two of the guys that ran the flea market with me. They actually recorded a live podcast at it, and it just got posted up. So I'm going to put a link for that. But it's from an internet radio station called 99.9, which my friend Pat does. So I want you guys to go on SoundCloud or whatever, and I want you to heart that and follow that and listen to the playlists on there because they're fucking awesome. And then listen to the podcast, which I make an appearance. I'm a little buzzed because I was nervous as fuck. But they get into comic books and horror, and they get very into. This was before the new Avengers movie came out, so they throw some Avengers theories back and forth. But they talk about the flea market and stuff, so it's awesome. So check that out. Definitely check out 99.9 on Spotify. Give it a like. I'm going to be checking if those likes go up. But that's all I really got for today. I have tons of vinyl here, guys. I have stuff from my flea market that I bought. I have stuff from another, the black market in Boston that I bought, Boston Hasselbacked. I have stuff that I've picked up at shows. I have some mail order stuff, and I did a record store run. So I literally probably have 2 or 3 more videos of just new, maybe not new vinyl, like new, just press vinyl, but new to me vinyl that I'm going to be showing off in the next couple weeks. So some stuff from the same band, which I'll do a little corner about a local band from the Cape that I saw last Friday, which have been around for a long time. They're playing out again. It's a Revilers, so guys, stay tuned for Revilers chat. Got some weird bootlegs. I got a couple Record Store Day things. I got something coming in the mail. I picked up a 7-inch. I fucking hate Record Store Day. There's 4 things I wanted. I've gotten 1 so far. The 7-inch I just came across, I think, the day after, a couple days after Record Store Day. There's 2 other things that are in the wild that I haven't bought yet, which I know I'll be able to get. So, I mean, I'm going to go all day long about Record Store Day. I understand the stores make money. I have friends who own stores, back them 110%. But the general idea of Record Store Day is just a bummer to me. Do we really need Steely Dan, double LP represses and all that shit? No, we don't. But, I digress. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. And, get into it.